What's up, ladies? How y'all doing? It's your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Hoping everybody so far is having a blessed and prosperous week. Well, y'all, Brittney Spears is back in the news again, honey. I guess Kevin Federline, when I say he has such major influence over his sons, honey, it's like dealing with Kevin Federline all over again, except she's dealing with it through both of her sons. So I learned about this coverage through Entertainment, and I'm going to read the article off of TMZ website, y'all. So I got to give credit where credit is due and where I'm getting my sources from, y'all. So anyway, if y'all haven't been keeping up, ladies, Brittney Spears is back in the press again. She's basically insinuated her son Jayden is undermining her, mad about money. So article reads as follows: Brittney Spears is calling out her son Jayden James, accusing him of undermining her and wondering if he's pissed the gravy train is about to run dry. Brittney went on a long rant Monday on social media, and it was mostly a response to Jayden publicly talking publicly about her and her challenges as a mom. She scoffs at Jayden, wishing and praying she gets better, wondering if her son is worried about the fact that he's not going to get any more money from her in a couple of years once he turns 18. Brittney's also addressing her souring relationship with the sons, who she hasn't seen in months, claiming they ignored her when they hung out in the past and never felt she was good enough mother if she didn't shower them with gifts. Remember, 15-year-old Jayden recently did a sit-down interview with Daphne Barrett for 60 Minutes Australia, in which he accused his mom of not showing equal love and attention to him and brother Sean Preston, and talking about Brittney's mental state. Brittney says Jayden sounds just like Jamie Spears, which is her sister, in the interview, accusing her son of secretly loving to look at her like something is wrong with her, the same she says the rest of her family is guilty of. As for the unequal attention claims, Brittney says Preston would sleep the whole time when she had her sons over while Jayden would play the piano, and she claims her boys always left 2 hours early. Brittney ends with this: she doesn't believe in God anymore because of the way her family and her children treat her. So, y'all, before I go further into my commentary, I am going to play a snippet of her interview. Of course, Fair Use Acts. I got to make sure I include that in there. So I'm going to let y'all listen to the snippet of what Brittney Spears had to say in response. I'm also going to play a snippet of what her son said that made her respond. So anyway, once y'all have listened to these clips, I'm going to come right back with my commentary and get my intake on it.
So Jayden, as you undermine my behavior, just like my whole family always has, with I hope she gets better, I will pray for her. Pray for what? Do you guys want me to get better so I can continue to give your dad 40 grand a month? Or is the reasoning behind you guys deciding to be hateful is because it's actually over in 2 years and you don't get anything?
First, I mean, everyone is mostly hating him for the conservatorship, right? But I think at first he was just trying to be like any father, like pursue her daughter's dream of like being a superstar and working and going and all these concerts and performing. But I think some people are just like ceasing to realize how much he cares about her.
No, I'm not perfect, but the love I've given you and how much I adore you in your diplomatic ways, speaking like Pawpaw, self-entitled, this can be fixed, I will see her when she's better. Jayden, it was a miracle I could even have a normal conversation when I got out of that place. But you were just like my other family. You secretly loved looking at me as something was wrong with me. I didn't need a family hiding in houses and whispering behind my back, feeling subconsciously guilty because I paid for every thing in both homes. I sat in that kitchen and looked you straight in the eyes, beautiful boy, and said, how come I can't see you guys anymore? Or just see you guys more? I look forward to seeing you guys weekly. You said, Mama, oh, it'll change. You and your brother left me in that house always 2 hours early. Preston would sleep. You would play the piano the whole time. And if I didn't shower you guys with gifts and have amazing food ready and play a motherfucking saint, it was still never good enough. Do you guys want me to get better so I can continue to give your dad 40 grand a month? Or is the reasoning behind you guys deciding to be hateful is because it's actually over in 2 years and you don't get anything? I needed unconditional love and support. But guess what? The whole twist of it all, which would have made a little bit more sense, I was in the greatest state I'd ever been because I was actually able to speak up 100% and say no.
Britt's voice note ends on a solemn note, telling fans she's lost her sense of faith.
Honestly, my dad needs to be in jail for the rest of his life. But like I said, God would not allow that to happen to me if a God existed. I don't believe in God anymore because of the way my children and my family have treated me. There is nothing to believe anymore. I'm an atheist, y'all.
As you ladies can see, I think this is one of the most gut-wrenching situation any woman could possibly be in when it comes to her children. Brittney Spears has had a very strange relationship with her sons, Preston and Jayden, since Kevin Federline has had full custody, which basically gave him an advantage that most full custodial parents have. Whoever has the child most of the time, or the majority of the time, who's ever doing the primary upbringing, most of the time they have the heaviest amount of influence when it comes to the children.
So everybody, I wanted to pause right there. I thank you for being able to catch the premiere, everybody. This is a content that I had already previously recorded, but normally, you know, I'll just upload my pre-recorded content, you know, and I'll set it up for premiere so y'all can just kind of watch it as I'm watching it. But I actually wanted to be able to elaborate a little bit more, so I'm going to be viewing the pre-recorded session in live time with y'all, and then I'm going to also be interjecting in the video during the content and adding more of my perspective to this particular situation. So for everybody who's just coming in, again, I am live streaming my pre-recorded session, and this is I recorded this, I say probably like 2-3 days ago. But anyway, if y'all haven't heard, if you haven't been keeping up, Brittney Spears has 2 sons, of course, with Kevin Federline, and the sons they have are Jayden and Preston is the name of the 2 boys. So nevertheless, just when we thought the feud had died down just a little bit between Brittney Spears and Kevin Federline, it erupted once again when Jayden decided to do an interview with 60 Minutes Australia, basically dragging his mother, dragging his mom, basically making it seem as if, you know, his mother mentally or has like some type of illness or something going on. And of course, Kevin Federline was sitting right there supporting his son, dragging his mother, doing this interview with 60 Minutes. So of course, when Brittney Spears saw this interview, like any other mother, it definitely pissed off and it made her feel some type of way. And she did respond. And I already put it in the video earlier for some of you who are just coming in. The response Brittney Spears made when she discovered her son Jayden basically threw her up under the bus during the interview by basically insinuating that his mom is not well and he's hoping she gets better. And Brittney Spears took that as an insult because at this point, Brittney Spears is feeling like she's reliving her nightmare with Kevin Federline all over again. And to add insult to injury, it's not just him anymore. He's also influenced her sons to also feel the same way that he does. And at this point, Brittney Spears has really gotten fed up to the point to where she made it clear that she does not even believe in God anymore because God wouldn't allow her family to treat her like this, which she's not understanding. We cannot blame God just because people turn on you, they switch up on you. We have the free will to be kind and not to be kind. So just because you have people being mean and nasty to you, even if it's your own family, You cannot blame God for that. You cannot penalize God for that. And that's what Britney Spears is doing. And I think it's pretty much Britney Spears is feeling defeated once again. So at this point, Britney Spears is feeling as if now they're trying to up the ante. You know, just remember, I did content a couple of weeks ago when Kevin Federline put out this old video footage when Jayden and Preston was only 11 and 12 years old. He put out an old video footage of Britney Spears basically going off in their ass. And what Britney Spears was doing was something any mother would do. I did not see her do anything out of line. She did not curse them out. She didn't slap them to the floor. But Kevin Federline, now that the gravy train is going to be departing the station in 2 years, because once Jayden and Preston turns 18 years old, he's no longer going to be getting $40,000 a month. He's no longer going to be able to capitalize off of quote unquote Britney Spears is, you know, illness or craziness, you know, and this is not what I believe in. This is what they're insinuating, trying to consistently make Britney Spears look like she's unfit, she's unstable. And I think Britney Spears has come to a place in which she has just given up on trying to prove to everybody she's not this crazy you know, unfit mother or a woman with a mental illness that needs help. I think she's gotten to a place in which she's finally tired of trying to prove herself at this point in time. But nevertheless, Kevin Federline is still trying to push this narrative that Britney Spears is crazy, that Britney Spears needs help. He's still trying to push this narrative, and he's gotten so far to the point with it in which now he has manipulated and convinced his children, his boys, his sons are also adopting the same narratives about their mother. But anyway, I'm going to continue to play the content, and I will interject throughout the content. In the event I feel like I needed to elaborate a few more points on this particular situation, because I really think that at this point in time, it's becoming a game now. It's becoming the art of manipulation at this point. Kevin Federline knows he does not have much time left to continue to keep living off of Britney Spears' success and fame. He knows the checks are going to end soon. Jayden and Preston are getting older. They're 16, 17 now. He doesn't have a lot of time. So now he's been pulling all kind of shit out the hat now just to try to, you know, make this woman look even more crazier. And I don't know what he's hoping to gain, because once these kids are 18, they're 18. So I don't know why he thinks this method of still trying to make Britney Spears look crazy is going to be a benefit to him. But we're going to continue with the content. And basically, like I said, I'll be interjecting, and anybody who in the comment wants to interject as well, definitely feel free to do so. So I will continue. As a custodial parent, you can influence that child to hate the non-custodial parent, to not respect the non-custodial parent, depending on how you utilize your parental authority. You have a lot of influence on shaping the mindset of that child. And basically, this is what Kevin Federline has been doing for years. He knew from the beginning of time, once he got custody of those children, he already had his motives, and he's seen it all the way through. And it's gotten to the point in which Britney Spears has pretty much just given up on looking for anything good to come out of having a positive relationship with her sons. She's basically thrown in a towel on that. As y'all can see, and again, I am a fan of Britney Spears, and she definitely has my utmost respect. The girl is very talented. She's had to overcome a lot. And I really believe, and I could be wrong, I know nothing about the Spears family. I've never lived with them. I've never even had a cup of coffee with any of them. And I just find it very ironic how Britney Spears just does not get along with anyone in her family. Her sister have a strained relationship. Her father, we know that relationship is definitely shot to hell.
I don't think they'll ever reconcile. I think it's so bad that if one of them were to pass away, I don't think one would show up to the other one's funeral. I believe their relationship is just totally torn. It's gotten to the point to where her relationship with her family is so jacked up that she does not even believe in God, because I guess she's prayed so many times for things to get better. She's probably spiritually sought to try to have a better, stronger relationship with her family, and it just appears to keep getting worse. So she's blaming God. She's resenting religion. She doesn't believe in anything anymore, because, I mean, if you don't have your family to believe in, who can you believe in? Brittney Spears, a lot of us, you know, we are on the outside looking in, and a lot of times we think because people are rich, famous, successful, that they're living their best life, that they and their families are traveling all over the world. You know, everybody has a beautiful home. They all get together, have these wonderful Thanksgiving feasts, and, you know, just everything seems so perfect, because you're thinking, what can possibly go wrong? I mean, you have a famous person in your family that has so much to offer. There's so many blessings or so many advantages that those that are connected to her can have, you know. So you really think people that are sitting in our situation would be living lovely. But contrary to what many may believe, sometimes, you know, money brings more problems. It really does. It brings more chaos. Why you think everybody should be living their best life, traveling, having fun, you know, having wonderful family gatherings and get-togethers, you know, in these beautiful backyards and these 6, 7, 8-bedroom mansions, only to find out there's chaos, there's strife, there's division. It's a lot of backstabbing. And I really think with Brittney Spears, her fame has become more of a curse than a blessing. I think when she first initially became a pop star and got into the industry, probably in the initial beginning, her family had her best interest. Of course, because she was young, you want to protect your child. You want to make sure that these industry vultures are not getting over and taking advantage. I really feel like her parents, even her father, initially had her best interest. But over time, and a lot of famous parents do this. I mean, Michael Jackson's father, Jackson's, you know, father, Joe Jackson, Beyonce's father, Matthew Knowles. What tends to happen is sometimes when parents bring their children into stardom, over time, as that child gets older, like any other teenager, anybody who's a parent, your child starts to formulate and have a mind of his or her own. Fame or not, kids grow up and you can't influence them as much. And I think it's even worse when they have money, because when you're young and you have money, you really feel as if no one can really tell you what to do then, because you're still transitioning into womanhood, manhood, you're in puberty. You're at that age where you're smelling yourself, you know. Your teenagers in their youth, they tend to get rebellious and they tend to get beside themselves a little. And all of that comes with becoming an adolescent until they mature. And I think over time, as Brittney started transitioning from a girl into a woman, she wanted to have some say-so. But the problem is when your parents have always been the ones in authority over your career, and you start tugging back at them like a dog that's on a leash, you're trying to break away from your owner. What tends to happen is like a dog who's tied to a leash trying to break away from the owner. You have the one who's holding the leash, which is the owner of the dog, has to tug that dog back with the leash, has to pull him back. You know, that dog wants to roam and run around and be free. You know, he wants to run and play, and you know, he probably any other dog, you know, they're okay with a leash for a while, but at some point, even a real owner has to realize you have to take the leash off the dog and let the dog be free and be a dog. Let him play, let him explore his independency. Unless you see that dog is getting ready to be endangered by another loose animal a loose dog that can hurt him, or he's about to run into the lake or do something, that can possibly hurt him, then you may have to grab him back and put him back on a leash. But nevertheless, hate to compare, dogs to children, but it's kind of the same thing. The ideology is the same, as that you have to learn when to let go. Okay. And parents who have become accustomed to being over their child's career definitely become accustomed to being over that child's money. Okay.
Yeah, I want to pump the brakes here. The reality is, unfortunately, when you have had a domineering parent, I mean, it's in the parent's nature to always be protective of their child. However, when you have a parent that has also nurtured that child into their career, in other words, that parent put so much into it to their son or daughter to get famous. Kobe Bryant's father did. He put a lot into him in order for him to be a successful basketball player. Boxer Floyd Mayweather, same thing. His father put a lot into him to be a successful boxer. A lot of actors, Gary Coleman, and I'm going to mention that later on in the content. It's a lot of child celebrities that, unfortunately, when they want to break free and finally do their own thing, they want to branch off, and they no longer want that parent controlling their career decisions. It brings a lot of turbulence, especially when you're dealing with a parent that's a narcissist and a parent that's very controlling and domineering. That parent, especially if he or she is the reason you became successful in the first place, you have some parents that feel like you owe that to them for the rest of your lives till the day you die. You have some parents who feel like they are entitled to running your money. They are entitled to telling you what to do as far as how you manage your career. And Brittney Spears and a lot of childhood stars have gone through years of parents thinking that they're going to keep regulating their career, regulating their decisions, not understanding that one day your child is going to become an adult. One day your child is going to get married. One day your child is going to make decisions of their own. And you're not going to be able to keep manipulating and running their money and doing what you want to do. Same thing with Beyonce Knowles, Matthew Knowles. Matthew Knowles is the reason Beyonce has become as successful as she has. However, over time, as Beyonce matured into a grown woman and she got involved with Jay-Z, who's been in a career longer than she has, slowly but surely, she pulled that rug from up under Matthew Knowles' foot and started allowing her husband to guide and lead her career. And a lot of these celebrity kids' parents, they don't think about that. They don't think about one day my child is going to grow up. They're going to have a mind of their own. They're going to get married. They're going to have families of their own. A lot of these celebrity parents, these mommagers and these fathers who have been leading their children's career since they have been young, they don't ever think the day is going to come when their child no longer wants them to manage them. So I believe Brittney Spears definitely went through a lot when she started rebelling, when she transitioned from girlhood to womanhood. Now she might want to have more say so in her music, her career. Definitely when she got with Kevin Federline, that changed a lot of the dynamics of her career and her relationship. So nevertheless, I'm gonna go ahead and finish playing some more of the content. I'm going to be in and out. What's up, 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼? How are you doing? I'm doing okay. I guess it's Friday, so the traffic is pretty heavy on YouTube. So everybody is, I guess, they hanging out in the drama spaces today. Everybody loves the drama, you know what I mean? So, but nevertheless, I appreciate you for stopping by and showing up. Thank you so much.
Okay. And just like teenagers, just like a teenage pop star or celebrity child that's gotten used to having money, spending and splurging as they choose to. Same thing with the parents. Let's not believe for a second that these parents wasn't enjoying the money just as much as they was enjoying being an authority over their children's career. We've seen Gary Coleman go through that. We've seen Jamie Foxworth that played as Judy on Family Matters. A lot of childhood stars have suffered at the price of their parents being over their finances. A lot of these parents, not all, but some of them, they're not very wise when it comes to finances. All of them are not good managers. They're just not be good parents. Just because you're a good parent don't mean you're a good manager. You know, managers have an obligation or whatever to also have knowledge of the industry, have knowledge of how to, you know, cover their children's finances and assets and things of that nature. But basically, I know I'm digressing. As a parent, you just get used to running the show. You get used to regulating your child's expenses and their career. So when Brittney Spears, I believe as she got older, she started wanting to have a say-so. I think that's really when things started getting rough between her and her parents, particularly her father. I don't know much about her mother's relationship, but I'm hearing a lot of animosity between her and her father. And of course, that man was used to being over that girl's money. You know what I mean? He was enjoying a lavish lifestyle, you know. And when, as a parent, when your child starts talking as if they want to start doing things on their own, it becomes a threat to you because you've been in control for so long. You've regulated and ran everything. And all of a sudden, this girl who's becoming a woman, now she wants to say so. She's telling you what she wants to do with her career. She's telling you what she would want to do with her money. It becomes a threat to you. And I believe that's what happened to Brittney Spears' father, which is why he fought so hard for conservatorship. Because he done got used to being, it's not just her life. It was the money. And I think it was more the money than her life. A lot of these parents get territorial. And they're so worried about, you know, somebody else getting a hold of their child's money, which means it's going to take from them. And I think that's the part a lot of people don't want to believe. They want to believe that the parent is just so happen, love the child, looking out for the child's best interest. But in actuality, though, there are some parents, they're not worried about the child's best interest. They're worried about the interest as far as those dividends, that money. So it's been a lot of chaos and turmoil. I'm sure Brittney Spears her income was the reason the majority of her family lived as lavish as they did down to her sisters. I'm sure Brittney Spears' money paid for plenty houses, paid for plenty cars, paid for plenty family trips, all of that. To the point that not only it made her family take advantage of her, but it also caused outsiders to take advantage of her. Kevin Federline was one of them. And anytime you are in the industry, it's very imperative that when you're dating or you're courting someone or someone is courting you, that you really take your time and you get to learn this person and their motives, because a lot of times people are not interested in wanting to be with you just for who you are, but it's for what you are. And I think Brittney Spears just was, she became a magnet to vultures.
Yeah, I want to pause there. Yeah, Nerly. Yeah, I absolutely. I didn't mention Joe Jackson earlier, and I know you just coming in, so yes, it's a lot of parents like Janet Jackson and Michael Jackson. Father was Joe Jackson. Like I said, Beyonce's father, Matthew Knowles, and Brittney Spears' father, Jamie Spears, who's so used to being over Brittney's career and, more importantly, Brittney's money. And that's where the problem comes at. Like you said earlier, it is sad that the parent only can see the dollar sign and not the person. And that's the God's honest truth. So, in most cases, y'all, money has a way of really blinding people. Money makes people very vulnerable to users, losers, and abusers. Big ups to everybody into the chat room. So, as Brittney Spears' career blossomed, and again, her father was so used to being in control, regulating everything. The biggest thing also was he was used to being over Brittney Spears' money. Brittney wants love for her, not love for her money. Absolutely. Anybody, that's anybody. You want people to love you and be there for you because they want to be, not because they know you got money or you can buy them things or give them the life of luxury. And I think that's the reason why Jamie Spears, Brittney Spears' father, he was over this girl's money. I mean, she was a full-grown woman. I think they just got that resolved this year. The judge granted for her father to no longer be over her assets and over her decisions. You know, he lost I forgot what's the word. I think it's called convertitorship. I'm probably pronouncing it and butchering it terribly wrong. But he lost rights to that. So I know her father is rebelling. He's very angry because this man been over her money all the way up until she was a grown woman. When she became a grown woman, had kids of her own, her father was still convertitorship over her finances, over her decisions. And especially when she had that meltdown, they took advantage of that because they was able to say, you know, Brittney, quote unquote, is unfit. She's having a mental illness. They use this girl's temporary failures, her temporary downfall. They capitalized off of it. You know, the father, and so did Kevin Federline. And you have a lot of parents that do this to their successful children. You know, her family was already became vulturous. Like I said, I believe in the initial beginning, everybody had genuine intentions. But as Brittney Spears' career blossomed and she became a bigger star, and of course, you know, doing tours, doing shows, and you know, once the money got big, I think everybody's ego got just as big. And they felt this sense of entitlement, like, hey, we your family. You got some parents that's like that. Got some parents that say, well, just because I'm your father, you owe me. Or I'm your mother, I gave birth to you. You have some parents that are very narcissistic and will make the child feel as if, even though you're full grown and you got a family of your own, that make you feel as if you still owe them. Brittney Spears already had her family, you know, leeching off of her. So, it pushed her more towards trying to seek love from anywhere. I think that's what really happened. A lot of times it's lonely at the top. People feel like because you're famous, you're a pop star, you got all these millions, that you're automatically happy. And it's so far from the truth. If anything, it's the opposite, because when you have so much, you expect so much. You have a lot, you look for a lot. You look to be loved. You look to be appreciated. You look for somebody to genuinely love you, support you, and care about you. And I think that's what happened with Brittney Spears. She had it all, but what she wanted more than anything, which her money couldn't buy, was real love. However, when you're in the industry and you're young, it's very easy to fall prey to the wrong type of people. And Kevin Federline was definitely one of Brittney's biggest downfalls. Now, I would say this. I've had people say, I even knew a guy who knew Kevin Federline personally, and he said it's not what it looks like. Everybody's looking at Brittney like she's the innocent bystander, and Kevin Federline is just this villain. And I will say this. You have to play devil's advocate. A lot of times as women, we want to automatically sympathize with women. I get that. And I'm not saying that Brittney Spears didn't have issues in that she's innocent to this, poor Brittney, she's just a victim. I said on my last video that Brittney has done some shady things herself. You know, again, Kevin Federline was in a relationship with Sean Jackson, who was 6-7 months pregnant with his child. And, you know, even if Brittney Spears did not know at that time, even when she found out eventually, it didn't stop her from being with Kevin Federline. She still had kids from Kevin Federline. Brittney Spears had no empathy for the other woman, had no empathy for Sean.
Because at the end, you know, Brittney, like her father, felt entitled. I'm Brittney Spears. I can have what I want to have. I don't give a damn who else is affected by it. This is what I want. This is what I want to do. So, oh well. And
so to pop the brakes on that, just a little history, and I mentioned this off my last video. Realize that Kevin Federline was in a full-term committed relationship when he got with Brittney Spears. Okay, he was already in a relationship and living with his then fiance, who was 7 months pregnant with their child, Shar Jackson. For those of you who are not familiar with Shar Jackson, she played as Niecy on the show Moesha, as you know, Moesha's best friend. That's one of the main shows that she's known for. She's been on several other movies and whatnot. He was in a committed relationship with her, and they already had a child together. He was basically supposed to be on the road just being a background dancer for Brittney Spears, but one thing led to another. Things got inappropriate. They crossed that line of having a professional relationship, and it became personal. So her and you know, Brittney Spears and Kevin Federline, you know, when you're on the road and you're doing these tours, y'all booking these hotels together, you out with your background dancers, y'all in a tour bus, y'all conversating, hanging out. If you're not mindful, it can quickly go from, you can quickly draw that line from professional to personal. And that is what happened. Brittney so badly was looking for love. If it wouldn't have been Kevin Federline, it would have been a different simp. It wouldn't have mattered. Brittney reached a desperate state in her life in which she wanted a relationship so bad. She wanted a man so bad. It didn't matter. She wasn't going to really take her time and evaluate men getting to know her because she so badly wanted to be loved. And this is what happens when women get desperate and you get in that phase of, I want a man so bad. I need a man so bad, especially when you are successful and you got a lot of money, because money, believe it or not, money can bring a lot of boredom and money can bring a lot of loneliness, because you can do just about any and everything you want to do. But once you have done any and everything you want to do and you have no one to share it with, it could be pretty boring. And I think Brittney Spears, that's what happened. She became so successful at such a young age, going through drama with her family. Kevin Federline was able to capitalize off of that. He was able to capitalize off the fact that Brittney was going through a lonely season in her life. And sometimes as a woman, you have to be careful that you allow a man into your life when you're going through a very vulnerable season. You're going through, you just broke up with somebody, or you just got cheated on, from, you know, find out your man cheated on you, you know, or either you're going through a bad space with your family. It's very imperative that you don't allow yourself to be vulnerable with men when you're going through a bad space in your life. You know, you're going through financial crisis. You're not getting along with your parents. Your ex-boyfriend, ex-husband cheated on you with a secretary. Any of these vulnerable moments could easily get you drawn to somebody like Kevin Federline, who's not good for you, who's easily has that advantage to infiltrate and come off as the sweet guy, the nice guy, because you're going through such a bad season. And when you're going through a bad season, any guy that shows a little bit of attention could seem like a real good guy for you, when it's not necessarily the case. He's just so happened giving you attention during a bad season. So that's where women got to know the difference. Know when a man is really interested in you, or know that you're in a vulnerable space. So, and when you're in a vulnerable space, even the worst damn man could seem like the best, depending on your current circumstances and how bad things are really going for you at that point in time. So that's just something you have to keep in mind.
Of course, it came back to bite her, because you see her and Kevin Federline, marriage didn't last long, and he ended up being a worst nightmare, and to this day, he's still her worst nightmare. So I will not say Brittney is 100% innocent, but I will say that sometimes when you have so many people, vultures, leeches just sucking off of you. It drains you to the point to where it could really make you snap. It could really make you lose yourself. I do feel like Britney Spears have issues, but I do feel like the relationship with her family has strained that. And the fact that she had fell so hard for Kevin Federline, thinking that she finally found that princess dream. We got the king, we got the kingdom, we got the castle. I'm the princess, he's my Prince Charming. I think she was really oblivious to how, you know, successful she was, to the point that it made her a candidate of being drawn to losers, or losers being drawn to her, like Kevin Federline. Britney Spears, like any other young woman, just wanted to be in love so badly. All women, we've been there. You want to be in love no matter what. You finally meet a guy of your dreams, and because he's saying the right things, he's filling in that lonely space that you've had for so long, and he's nurturing you, he's talking to you, he's, you know, making you feel like he has your best interest. You fall so hard because you finally got that love that you've been seeking, only to find out that this guy had motives all along, and by the time you find out, it's too late. Feelings have been invested. Sometimes children have been invested, a commitment, marriage, different things have taken place. And sometimes it's hard to just cut that off and just move forward, unless you're really, really strong, or you have the finances where you can do so. But when Britney got with Kevin Federline, that's when things really spiraled for her. Britney did not protect herself. She didn't protect herself emotionally, spiritually, or mentally from Kevin. And it gave Kevin Federline a big advantage. Because her world was basically unraveling with her career. We saw how after the divorce, how ugly it was. She had to repossess everything back from him, taking a Lamborghini back. She had to basically snatch his lifestyle once she came to the realization that Kevin Federline was just using her. And in the process of that, her family, she was going through it with them. So I think it drove Britney Spears in a very, very crazy space in which she lost it. She lashed out, feeling powerless, feeling defeated. Like, all this money, all this fame, and yet my family does not have my best interest. Kevin Federline does not have my best interest. I think once she felt like no one had loved her, or no one, it was more so about controlling her than it was about supporting her, she lost it. And it made her look crazy. Sometimes, you know, you could be, I've been in a situation one time where I was in a relationship with a guy, and he was just doing a lot of, you know, I tolerated more than what I should have. And it just drove me into a crazy space in which I was lashing out on my family, lashing out on my friends. Nobody understood, you know, what was going on with me or whatever. But I put a bad taste in a few people's mouths, you know, because I was going through so much with a particular guy. And I think every woman at some point in time has gone through that. It's only unhealthy when you stay there and you actually, you know, you do things like you're taking pills, you're on drugs, you start doing things to consume, to basically to cope. You find negative ways of coping. You drinking more, you don't become alcoholic. That's when it becomes unhealthy. When you really start losing yourself. But we all have been there, or we all could have gone there. So, and a lot of times it makes you come off as the crazy one, when really you just love so hard. And people who love hard come off as crazy. People who are very compassionate come off as crazy. When you're a very emotional person, which is women most of the time, when we act out and we have meltdowns, people look at us like we have a mental illness. Britney Spears had that meltdown when she shaved all her hair. And I think it was really so much, not that she was crazy, she just felt defeated. Everybody's taking over her life. Her parents, Kevin Federline. They hear this paparazzi. You scratch your ass wrong, anything. They're making a bit skeptical of it. What's entertainment to us as fans and as bloggers is really a downfall for the celebrities that we are talking about that's going through it. What we think is fun and games and entertaining from us, you know, is actually a downfall, spiraling out of control. It's serious life. It's real life for them. We blog, we write magazines, we report, you know, things on social media. But in the meantime, these celebrities, they really going through it. You know, they're falling into a state of depression. They're falling into a state of giving up. You know, this is why you have some celebrities who commit suicide and take their lives, and we don't know why. You know what I mean? Brittney Spears so far has just been strong enough to not resort to that. Fortunately, so far. But nevertheless, Kevin Federline, he played on that. He played on that, knowing Brittney was at her most vulnerable, knowing her father was already controlling her assets. And I would not be surprised, and I think I heard about this. I think Kevin Federline and her father pretty much both got together and tag teamed. I believe Kevin Federline did not get those kids by himself. I believe her own family backed him up somewhere, especially her father. Being that her father and Kevin Federline are so much alike, they want control over Brittney's life because that's their way of having control over her assets and her income. I believe they kind of plotted together. You know, I believe they plotted together. You know what I mean? I believe Brittney's father was probably supportive of Kevin Federline getting those children because I guess he felt like if Brittney did not have her children, you know what I mean, that would give him even more of full advantage to be over all of her assets and everything. If he had the support of Kevin and Kevin's kids to also be close to him. Because to this day, Kevin Federline and Brittney's father is very close. And believe it or not, Brittney Spears' sons, they love their grandfather to death. In fact, they agreed to their grandfather being over everything from Brittney. Can you imagine being a woman? Put yourself in Brittney Spears' position where your ex-husband and your father and your kids and your sister, again, I don't know the relationship with her mom, but I wouldn't be surprised if her relationship with her mom wasn't that great either. All of these people are against you, and all of them are supporting each other, but they can't support you. That's definitely a major slap in the face to anybody. And you ain't got to be a star or celebrity for something like that to not crush you. So anyway, it starts all over again when Jayden decides to do an interview with Australia. Basically, co-signing on all the points that Brittney Spears has been trying to defeat all along. Basically, Jayden did an interview saying that he feels like his mother needs help. You know, they haven't always had a really good relationship. When Brittney Spears been saying for the longest, even when they were younger than what they are now, they've never connected with her. Every time she would come to see, they would come over, they'd go in their room, they'll play the piano. Kevin Federline had so much time to influence her sons. Because to me, her sons are acting like his. The deflecting. I've never heard Kevin Federline really own much of anything. I've never heard him say, you know what, I could have been a better husband. You know, I really wasn't supportive. I mean, whenever you have somebody that just wants to say, this person is this, they do that, they blah, blah, blah. You cut the point finger and you don't take not even an ounce. Well, you know, I was young when we married. You know, he rarely takes accountability. And if he ever has, it still doesn't amount to all of the shame that he puts on Brittney. If he did take an accountability, he may take like 2% while placing the other 98% on Brittney Spears. So, Brittney Spears is angry all over again because here it is. Her sons are doing interviews, and of course, Kevin Federline was right there while her son, was basically exploiting her. And it's gotten to the point to where Brittney Spears, damn if I do, damn if I don't. If I try to connect with my sons, they still throw an egg in my face. If I was one of those mothers who walked away and didn't give a shit, then they'll say I ain't shit mama. Unfortunately, when you lose custody of a child and the majority of the custody is to the other parent, that parent has a lot of power, and how he or she can influence that child to resent you.
So I want to pop the brakes there, y'all. Everybody who's just entering the chat, so you can have an idea of what's going on. I played some clips earlier within the content. Of course, Brittney Spears is at war once again, thanks to Kevin Federline, who basically encouraged his son, to one of their sons, because they got two boys together, Jayden and Preston. Jayden just did an interview with 60 Minutes Australia, basically dragging his mother, Brittney Spears, through the wall. Basically, Jayden was insinuating that, he'll be glad when his mother gets well. He'll be glad when she gets better. I'm just basically making Brittney look unfit. Now, keep in mind, just a couple of months ago, Kevin Federline put out this old video when their sons was 11 and 12, and Brittney was going off on them for being disrespectful to her. So it seems as if now that Jayden and Preston, I believe they're 16, they're probably 15 and 16, or they're either 16 and 17. Kevin Federline has less than 2 years to collect child support. So it seems as if now that the gravy train is getting ready to depart the station, all of a sudden, things have been coming up. Now, if you look at my thumbnail that I have up here, if you look at Kevin Federline, notice how overweight he is compared to how slim he first was when him and Brittney got together. You can tell he's been comfortably living off of Brittney. He's been living lavishly for the last, I think had them kids, 8-9 years now? I know it's been a long time. Brittney Spears was basically paying Kevin Federline $40,000 a month for child support. So basically, Kevin Federline was definitely living large, and of course, he is large as hell. He's basically obesity. And you can tell he's aging terribly because he done got comfortable living off of Brittney Spears' money. He does not work. He does not have a job. His only job has been to raise his sons and to collect those checks. Now, I commend him for stepping up and being a father, but let's be honest. He stepped up and decided to be a father because he knew he was going to benefit off of Brittney Spears. Now, he did not try to get custody of his kids from his first relationship with Shar. He never took Shar to court to get custody of his kids so he could live off of Shar. But when he did it with Brittney Spears. Because why? Because Brittney Spears is Brittney Spears. So not only Brittney Spears been paying him $40,000 a month, you got to keep in mind, Kevin Federline is remarried. He has a wife. Okay? He not only has a wife, him and the wife got 2 children together. So not only Kevin Federline been living off of Brittney Spears' money, so has his wife. Okay? So Kevin Federline, to me, once he saw Brittney go through a temporary state of destruction, he took it upon himself to get a lawyer to fight and get custody of their sons, and it worked out in his favor. It worked out in his favor. He was able to pull it off. And what I noticed is the reason why Kevin Federline felt the need to do that, I'm sure he was concerned about his children. I'm sure that was 2% of it, but I'm sure the other 98% was he knew once he got those boys that Brittney Spears was going to have to pay him child support because his money is nowhere like Brittney Spears' money. The fact that Brittney Spears had way more money than him, the courts was going to make her the breadwinner. The courts was going to award the money to him for her to have to pay him child support. That's how it is. In most cases, whatever parent has the most money, that's who the judge usually makes responsible for paying the child support. The parent who has the less amount of money is the ones who usually receive child support. In my opinion, I really feel like whatever parent is more well off, that's who the child should be with. As long as that parent is not just well off financially, but will also take care of that child's emotional and spiritual needs as well. But in this case, he got over. 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 says the children are being manipulated by their father. Absolutely, 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼. And that's why I'm making the point that I'm making is that Kevin Federline, he's a bum, but he's a smart bum. He's a scrub, but he's a smart scrub. He knew exactly what he was doing. If you notice, if any of y'all been paying attention, ever since Kevin Federline had those kids, Kevin Federline has not been in no trouble. He laid low. He played it cool. He played it smooth. You damn near forgot about him until he started bringing his big ass out. Now that the child support is down in 2 years, now you see him more of them now more than ever. But throughout the whole duration, Kevin Federline, he played it smart. He played it smart. He knew that if he were to ever mess up and falter and do something stupid, that Brittney Spears could always get her children back. So what he did was Kevin Federline stayed on his best behavior. He stayed on his best behavior because he wanted to make sure he never lost custody of those kids again, because those kids, Jayden and Preston, is his income. Let's face it. Brittney Spears is sending him $40,000 a month because he has Jayden and Preston in his custody. If he didn't have Jayden and Preston, he wouldn't have had no money. He would have not had no money. He would have had to work and get a job. Karma will come for Kevin Federline soon. And yes, 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼, it's coming because the child support is down to the wire. And all this mess came about because Jayden recently did an interview on 60 Minutes dragging his mother, basically co-signing with his grandfather, saying, yeah, granddaddy, he did the right thing by being over Brittney Spears' money. So you co-signing the fact that your grandfather was treating your mother like a child, being over her money, making all her career decisions, making this girl seem crazy. So their sons are definitely brainwashed 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼. He brainwashed these boys. They think they mama crazy. And it's crazy because it's bad enough. Both of her sons, they already look like Kevin Federline, but they act like him. They got a mindset. They look at their mother the same way Kevin Federline does. And this is a big disadvantage for a woman who doesn't have custody of her children. This to sit up here and see your sons regurgitate the same talking points the bitter ass father does. Like I said, he only has 2 years left in child support, y'all. So he keeps popping up like a bad rash. You know, he just keeps popping up. I'm like, bro, why y'all got to keep nitpicking with Brittney Spears at this point in time? Because the child support is going to stop in 2 years. So your sons are going to be adults. So why do you think exploiting Brittney, what is he trying to gain from that? Does he think the courts are going to extend the child support if they can prove she's crazy? He's just relentless. And he got his sons acting the same way. And it's going to be very hard of you trying to transition and change the mindset. And see, also, Brittney Spears' boys are older now. I think they're 16 and 17 or something like that. They don't have long. Child support is going to end in 2 years. And I find it very ironic. Now, it was bad enough just a couple of months ago.
Federline put out an old ass video when those boys was 11 or 12 years old, trying to make Brittney look like the piss poor parent. And she didn't say nothing on that video that any of us would say to our own children. And then she didn't cuss them out. She didn't call them no good. She didn't degrade them. But she went off and she put them in a place like any other good parent would. First, he tried to use that card. That card didn't work. Now he's trying to come up with something else now that the gravy train is getting ready to depart the station. Because Kevin Federline has a lot of influence over those children. He could have easily told his son, because his son respects him just that much. He has a lot of influence over them. He could have stopped that interview. He could have even discouraged Jayden from doing the interview in the first place. But no, he was right there while the anchor lady was interviewing Jayden. Like, he wants to keep pushing the narrative that Brittney Spears is an ain't shit type of, is a delusional, dysfunctional type of woman. This girl is she's done so far everything she's been asked to do. She's been paying him $40,000 a month. Seeing her children who act like they don't even want to be around her. It's like they just come around because they're court-ordered to come around, and then they don't stay the whole time. They leave early.
For those of you who didn't watch the initial beginning, Brittney Spears was stating that in the audio that when Jayden and Preston do come around, they're very distant with her. They isolate themselves. Jayden to play the piano, Preston to go in the room. So this Karen Federline definitely has put a lot of negative narratives in their minds, to the point that even when they are around their mom, even when they go to visit Brittney, they're very disconnected. And you can tell as a parent when the other parent is feeding a child a lot of negative narratives, because the child will start to act funny when they come around you. And this is what Brittney Spears has been going through. She said this earlier in the audio for all of you who have missed it. Basically, Kevin Federline has so much influence over his sons to where they just look at their mom like she's crazy as hell, like she's mentally disturbed, to the point that when she does visit, when they do visit on her visitation days, they act like they don't want to be bothered. She said, Brittney Spears said this herself, the only time they seem to connect with her is when she's buying them gifts, when she's doing for them. Doesn't this sound familiar? Doesn't it sound like their dad? It's crazy how the apple can fall so far from the tree. Ladies, this is why we got to be careful who we have children from. You have to be mindful who you have children from, because some of these men are, you know, you have children from some of these men, and just like you have baby daddy drama, I mean, like just like you have these men who go through baby mama drama, you have women that deal with baby daddy drama. And this is a perfect example, you know, of what happens when you bring the wrong type of man into your life. Not only you bring him into your life, but you make him you become his wife, and then you breed children from them. You have children from them. Some of these men can be your worst goddamn nightmare. Yeah. That's what, and that's exactly _𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼. What will he do when the money is over? And I'm going to bring that in. I'm going to bring that up coming through this content. That is the #1 question, _𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼. What will he do when the money is over? And I actually would like, if anybody in the chat has time to answer that. I really want to know what you ladies think. What do y'all think K-Fed is going to do? The checks are about to stop, y'all. And y'all know time is going quick, you know. We think about it. We'll be in 2023 in a couple of months. We already in September, October, November, December. 4 months, y'all. We're going into another year. The child support, the gravy train, choo-choo, is getting ready to depart the station. I want to know that question too, _𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼. I want to know, what will he do when money is over? Because this fool ain't been working. He don't own no business. He don't have no job. this is going to be interesting, y'all. I can't wait. I'm wondering what he's going to do.
Because that's what she said. They leave early. And I think now, you know, these young men are a carbon copy clone of their fathers, in which she said, you know, it seemed like she got to spend money, give gifts, or be this perfect mom where she's making pancakes and waffles every morning, or I guess taking them to wine and dine at these all-star restaurants and stuff to make them feel important. That's the only time they feel real importance or love from Brittney, is if she's splurging and spending on them. And I think that attitude has come from their father, because they've seen their father do it to their mother so much. These kids have a sense of entitlement just like their father. They know they're old enough now to know the worth of their mother based off her fame, her success. So now they want to cash in on that. Child support is getting ready to stop. So now they want their mama to pay for everything. And I'm sure Karen Federline is in a sense is making sure they get something out of Brittney's money. But now that them boys are older, they probably want Brittney to do directly for them instead of the child support just going to the dad, because I'm sure that Kevin Federline is doing what he wants to do. He's already remarried. He's had 2 kids since then. So Brittney Spears, $40,000 a month is supporting him and his whole family. You better believe all that money is not just going on Brittney Spears' sons. That $40,000 a month is paying Kevin Federline and his wife, kids' daycares, their mortgage, and I just hope he got a backup plan. I hope that house will be paid for in 2 years, because Kevin Federline does not have anything else going for him.
And to pump the brakes there, y'all, because like I said, you know, we know Brittney Spears is paying $40,000 a month, okay? And what has happened is, you have to keep in mind, once Kevin Federline, when he first initially got with Brittney, first of all, Kevin Federline was a trailer park. He was a trailer park dude, okay? He ain't had no money like that. He wasn't balling like that. He was basically a trailer park simp. Okay, and getting with Brittney, it really opened him up into another world that he had never experienced. Imagine, you know, you just being a woman, work your regular job, paycheck to paycheck, pay your light bill, your water bill, car note, whatever. You may have enough money left over to go out and some drinks with your girls. You know, you used to living a regular lifestyle. Till you come across dealing with a man with a lot of money, and he's bringing you into his rich world, and you are experiencing so many different things. You're going to these extravagant restaurants, these 5-star motels, not no little Motel 6. We're talking about the Continental Suites. You know what I mean? When Brittney Spears introduced Kevin Federline to the life of stardom, he became like a kid in a candy store. You know, he was enjoying and just relishing, you know, all of the perks of being the husband of a pop star. You know, they about the wine and dine at the top-notch restaurants. You know, they've been traveling in Paris and Paris. You know, this was a dude that's lived in a trailer park, who went from the outhouse to a penthouse. Okay? You know, who went from the Motel 6 to the Carl Ritson. You know what I mean? She introduced him to a whole nother world, and he became adjusted to being in that lifestyle. So when him and Brittney divorced, Brittney, now what she did do smart, she did do a prenup. Thank God she wasn't that in love. She did do a prenup, and when they divorced, she took back all of his boy toys. I remember she repossessed his Lamborghinis. She repossessed the Range Rover. Now, one thing about it, when he pissed Brittney Spears off, she did go for the gusto. She did not just stay there and take it lying down. She took back everything she ever gave him. And he had to go back to the trailer park. He had to go back to living in his mobile home. Can you only imagine, even though he walked around acting all egotistical, that was a culture shock. It'd be different if you never experienced that type of lifestyle, but to experience the lifestyle of the rich and famous, to go back to the broke and shameless, come on. I think that's what motivated Kevin Federline even more to take those kids, because once he lost Brittney, y'all, ladies, he lost the lifestyle. That's the thing. Sometimes the people, they be wanting to divorce their celebrity husbands, their celebrity wives, but they don't think about, okay, are you willing to go back to that lifestyle of being in a struggle? And sometimes it's worth it. Just because somebody has a lot of money, it doesn't mean you should stay married to them and take disrespect and take abuse. In some cases, leaving a man or a woman that's disrespected you, regardless of how famous they are, is not worth compromising your integrity. But Kevin Federline had it in the bag. He had Brittney Spears in the bag. Brittney Spears was willing to do anything for him. Brittney Spears was doing everything for him. Had he just chilled, enjoyed the luxury, humbled himself, stayed good to her, been good to her, he still would have been living that lavish lifestyle. But when you pick up a bum and try to make them a boss, you take somebody out their element. A pig is still a pig. Listen, if you take the pig out of a farmhouse and you put a pig in a yard with nice, clean cut grass, and that pig is used to wallowing around in the mud, that pig gonna try to find some mud because that pig is used to that environment. Kevin Federline came from nothing. He was a backup dancer. He wasn't no executive director. He wasn't making no coins like that. All it was he was one of those nice looking white guys who knew how to dress, had a little swag, knew how to dance, had a little finesse. He knew how to finesse women. I mean, he's not an ugly guy. I mean, now he done put on all his weight, but during that time, him and Brittney met, you know, he was this nice looking guy, you know, who was a great dancer, evidently. And what he did was he finessed. He saw Brittney Spears was dreamy eyed, and he finessed her. Nerly says the bum have to work somewhere. Yeah, after have to work, he can drive a bus or Amtrak. Nerly, that would be very interesting. Basically, he had got addicted to the lifestyle, y'all. He had to go back to the trailer park. And when he saw Brittney Spears have that meltdown, he knew right then, okay, let me lawyer up. Let me lawyer up. Let me lawyer up. She's acting out. She's acting crazy. She's having a moment. I'm going to use this moment to my advantage. I'm going to hit my lawyer up. Hey, I need to go ahead and get custody of my sons. My ex-wife is acting out. She done shaved her head bald, and she's taking an umbrella and trying to knock out people's windows to their vehicles. And basically, she just had a moment. She had a moment. She lashed out. But Kevin used Brittney Spears' meltdown. He used it to his advantage because he wanted that lifestyle back anyway. We shall proceed. Hopefully he was smart and got himself a home in which he could pay for on his own, because Brittney Spears checks are going to stop being deposited into his account within a couple of months. Within a couple of years. 2 years is not a lot of time. People who get child support, they don't think about stuff like this. They swear because a child is 5 or 10 years old, they got all this time up until the child is 18. But those 10 years, those 15 years, those 20 years will go by so quick. And if you're not smart and wise with your money, the child support will be over and you still be living in the same conditions you lived in when that child was first born. But I just think at this point, Brittney Spears just has definitely, she has had it. She has had it. They are just relentless. They won't stop at making her look like a piss poor ass mother. They won't stop. They just keep coming at her, doing interviews.
I guess next they'll be writing tell-all books. And I guess she can't even have a conversation with them without them recording something or saying something. It's very, very, I can only imagine. It's very disappointing when you can't even connect with your own children because their father has them so brainwashed. Now, you have women who do this all the time, in most cases. Most of the time, in fact, it's women who brainwash the children. But very rarely do we ever speak of the exceptions in which men are brainwashing the children. And in this case, he's definitely brainwashed his sons. His sons not only look like him, they got his same mindset. Their mother is crazy. Only time they feel any love or support is if she's going to her wallet, going to her bank account. And I get that. Sometimes you just want your children to just want to spend time with you, be with you, and allow you to be a mother to them. I would feel some type of way if my daughter only want to talk to me when she wants some money. I'm like, damn, is that all you see me as? An ATM machine? You don't see me as your mother? How about just calling and checking on me sometimes? Making sure I'm good. My daughter, she calls just to check on me a lot. My daughter is always worried about me. I think she's always more worried about me than I am about her, but she always calling and checking on me. Mom, you good? Everything okay? You doing all right? She's always just checking on me. You know, just the little things mothers want, fathers too. You don't want to just be a damn piggy bank for your children. It's sad because Kevin Federline doesn't realize is that he's putting his sons in a position in which if Brittney Spears is not already there, she's going to get to the point where she's going to cut them off. And when Kevin Federline is no longer able to provide that lifestyle, and he may get funky and he may get to the point of telling his sons, y'all may have to get a job. Y'all may have to work. He may start trying to pimp his sons, or he may be trying to get his son some type of business ventures or something. I don't hear Kevin Federline making his boys go to college, making them start a career or a business. I don't hear where he's like, you know, helping them prepare for the future, other than he keeps pushing them to say stuff to exploit their mother. That way they can keep getting compensated. So they think. But after 18, that's a wrap. And I really feel like all of this is going to come back to backfire on them. Kevin Federline got to realize he's creating monsters. Those monsters live with them. Now it's going to come a point when Brittney Spears checks stop coming into your household. He may not see the benefit of having his sons as much. It's going to be interesting how this plays out, because just like Brittney got her karma from getting with Kevin Federline, knowing he was in a relationship with a woman he left 6-7 months pregnant, trust and believe Kevin Federline is going to get his karma as well. My thing is, what plans does he have for his children when the child support stops? Are these young men going to go to college? Are they going to start a business? Because when Brittney's no longer supplying the money, now he may have to find other ways to compensate for that. He may have to make his sons get jobs. And what's going to happen is them sons, they going to buck. Because they done got used to living off of their mama money. Because if Kevin Federline was smart, even if he had Brittney Spears money, he should have been making those young men work. Or grooming them to start their own business, even if it's cutting grass, even if it's starting a company in which you could create your own video games. I mean, the kind of money their mother was bringing in, they could have done all kind of things. That way, by the time they was 18 and the check stopped, his kids had already built their independency, so they don't feel the loss. But see, he made his kids become entitled because he always felt entitled. Kevin Federline, you never heard nothing about him get no job. He ain't had no job. He ain't start no business or nothing. He was chilling and living fat off of Brittney Spears' money. I'm just wondering what they're going to do when the check stops. Because he done become accustomed to that, and he done made his sons become accustomed to that. All hell is going to break loose. He has not prepared those boys for manhood. All he's done is taught them how to keep airing out their mom. Jayden is just playing the piano. I could be wrong, but it don't look like those two young men are doing much of anything with their lives. If they are, let me know, and I'll correct my statement. But looks like to me, they look just as sorry as their father. I'ma just say it. I'ma just say it. They look just as sorry as their daddy. Like they want to be taken care of. They don't look like they have an independent bone in their body. Y'all got all day to talk to all these 60 Minutes and People magazine, but why aren't y'all talking about getting a job or going to college, majoring in something? You got kids out here who want to go to college and can't go because they can't afford it. Here it is, y'all mother is a freaking millionaire, and y'all not taking advantage in the right way. Like, it's the same like my grandmother used to say, if you're going to do wrong, do it right. If Kevin Federline, if you was going to sit up here and take all this woman's money, all these years, $40,000 could have been paid for your boys to go to the best of universities. They would have been readily available to transition into college as soon as they graduate from high school. I don't think he taught them boys nothing but to be users and manipulators. I don't think those young men are ever going to work. I don't think they ever going to go to college. Either that or they're going to try to humble themselves and manipulate to get back in Brittney Spears' good graces. And if she's not careful, they may find a way to manipulate, they may try to make her feel guilty to take care of them. Well, you didn't support me. Dad had to support us. Kids know how to be manipulative when they want to get something out the deal. They know how to do reverse psychology. And if you are a mother, especially a mom who does feel some type of guilt, you'll fall for the okie finokie. You'll be sitting up here spending all kind of extra money to redeem yourself with them, to get back in with them, to earn their love. Hopefully Brittney Spears doesn't get to that point, because that's probably what's going to happen. When the gravy train stops, they're probably going to try to get in good with their mom. And it's sad because, they're going to have that Kevin Federline spirit. I mean, ladies, that's why it's imperative when you get up with these men, you have children from these men, pay attention to their character, because sometimes your children can adopt those same type of character traits of being a user and a loser, lying, scheming, manipulating to get over. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, like many folks say. I just believe they're going to be every step of Kevin Federline. And not only that, it also runs on her side of the family, because look, their grandfather, Brittney Spears' father, feels entitled. So sister, these kids may have a double-edged sword of that, because it's in their bloodline on both sides of the family, their father as well as their mother. So it's going to be interesting when the gravy train stops, y'all. But anyway, yeah, it's just been very, very interesting, y'all. It's messed up. Every time Brittney Spears gets 3 steps ahead, they pull her 4 steps back with foolishness. This woman's trying to move on. She's been remarried. She wants to start all over and do it right. Have children, restart her life, make up for lost time. And it's hard, it's difficult to do that, especially when your family just keeps pulling you back, keeps dragging you through the mud, trying to make you look like the villain. And not to say that she hasn't done a lot of things wrong, but damn, that's just hard when you have so many people teaming up against you. Your ex-husband, your father, your sister, maybe your mama, and especially your own kids. Ladies below, let me know what y'all think about this whole situation. Do y'all think Brittney Spears has probably caused way more of this on herself more than we know? Or do y'all feel like everybody's making her out to look like the villain, to look like the crazy one? Everybody's coming at her, and she's more of the victim in the situation. What do y'all think? Do y'all think Brittney Spears really created this chaos and brought it upon herself? Or do you think that, being that she got in this business so young, it gave everybody an advantage on being able to control and regulate her life? Who do you really feel is at fault here? Also, do you feel like Kevin Federline is sincerely concerned about Britney Spears, or he's just trying to look for things to find another avenue to still, you know, be on the come up with getting income from her. So anyway, y'all, leave y'all comment below. I'm interested in, want to know what you ladies think about this. Anyway, I'm gonna get ready to shut it down. It is your girl, your diva and knowledge, Lady Mocha, represent Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Y'all take care, ladies, and make sure you like the video. Please share, subscribe if y'all haven't already. I'll talk to y'all soon. Be blessed.